Before I begin the video, I will remind you to please click like if you like my content and subscribe to our channel, tell a friend, and more importantly, go to our website and send us your email address to become a VIP that we can send you announcements and VIP benefits that we'll think of as we go along. So thank you very much, and let's go on. Hi, I'm miltonchang of Bonsaiheirloom, and today I would like to go over the consideration for your first bonsai to begin our lecture series 101. Basically, you want to, before you even consider buying or making a bonsai, you want to consider how you're going to use it, and then decide on a make or buy trade-off so that you can start off with a pretty good idea of what the bonsai wants to be and how much you want to spend it by doing a little bit of web research. So let me go into the details of this topic. I would like to go into the consideration of what you want to use, how you want to use the bonsai for. And basically, the obvious thing that you want to think about the bonsai for is that you want to have a rough idea of what the bonsai like to be look like, and how much money, time and money you want to spend on the bonsai, and where you're going to place it for what purpose, such as like put it on a patio as a patio decoration, or put it right next to your computer as you work to remind you of the beautiful nature out there as a way of relaxing. And the less obvious consideration is that the benefits of bonsai that you can get out of a bonsai. I think the most obvious one is that we are very tense at work. And I think bonsai, when you go home and spend 5-10 minutes clipping and watering it, it's a very relaxing thing. At least it was, for me, it was. It kind of maintained my sanity. And so that's one major benefit, I think. But more importantly, a benefit is to own a bonsai with your children. It's a way to build relationship with your children as a pal, not as a tiger parent. And then it's a very natural way to teach them value system. I think that benefit is often overlooked. And for myself, the reason why I want to promote bonsai now is that bonsai is kind of considered an Asian art, although it should be a universal art. Nonetheless, I want to show, Asian art could be part of America. And so it's really for a social cause to build racial relationship. But you can think of your own reason why you want to do bonsai. So the second one is really buy and make trade-off decisions. And I think cost is really kind of a meaningless thing, because how much is your time worth making a bonsai, and how long are you willing to wait until you get to enjoy the raw material to become a bonsai that you feel good about working on it. And for that matter, frankly, you can better spend time doing something you really enjoy doing, or can be more productive, rather than struggling with how to figure out how to do a bonsai. And so finally, I think it's really a well-implemented bonsai from a hobbyist especially, or from a reputable vendor. You get to enjoy the bonsai without having to fight trouble that you run into in maintaining the bonsai, to give you a head start on enjoying bonsai and learning how to do bonsai. So let us get into a little bit more detail of the trade-off between make and buy, in a sense, what you have to put up with. And to make your bonsai, you really have to have the know-how. You cannot just arbitrarily get into it and, in a sense, just throw the bonsai in a pot and that's it. You also have to know what kind of tools to buy. And you can go into our website and look at all the tools you need. And for beginners, we actually throw in a clipper that you get for free That's all you need, all the tools you need to maintain your bonsai. And then you also have to have the material such as the soil mixture, the pot, the screen lining for root pruning, and whatever watering accessories and so forth you need. And in terms of buying, I think one mistake is focusing on price. It's really not the price that matters, it's the value. You may buy a cheap bonsai, but you may be paying too much because it's poorly implemented and it'll soon die on you. And so I urge you to try bonsai hobbyists, such as you can go to a bonsai club, to get it at bonsai sales, go to bonsaiheirloom. Every one of our trees is well implemented, is designed for longevity. And they're also designed with your convenience in mind. So for example, we have a patent pending pot that reduces the need and eliminates the risk of drying out your root ball and to kill the tree. So do consider the quality and the knowledge and the reliability of your supplier. Now, whether you decided to buy or make, you want to choose the right tree. And what we advocate is to go with the traditional material that has proven to work. Like when I designed my garden, I did not go to a landscaping person. I did consult them because they tend to use material that are very quick growth and keep green, looks beautiful now, but remains so without turning elegant. And so I planted all small trees of selective variety that I like. And look, what happened 25 years later, just like your bonsai 25 years later, if you start with the traditional material that has been proven, you have a much better, beautiful bonsai that's elegant with the right kind of a rootage, the right kind of a trunk and the bark and so forth. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video so far. We got a lot more going on. This is about halfway. Please click like if you like my content, and subscribe to our channel, tell a friend, and more importantly, go to our website and sign up to become our VIP for goodies. Now the next topic is what kind of tree do you select? And what I advocate is to choose trees varieties that are proven to be easy to maintain and were proven to be able to become magnificent over time. And that's why we pick elm, and what we'll offer next is Zelkova, and followed by that trident maple and Japanese maple, and then eventually juniper and pine. And the reason why we offer series is so that we can have mature trees in a sense of trees good enough to go into pots, and that tend to be the growing rate. Elm and Zelkova grow the fastest, and so that's what we'll offer. But in time, we'll offer all of these in series. And in fact, I have started to propagate the most desirable cultivars that I have collected over 50 years that even the bonsai hobbyists will kill for. And so please stay tuned. And, you know, if you like it the first time, here comes the next one, order another one, order another one. Pretty soon you have a series of complete tree collection for your bonsai court or bonsai display area. A very often asked question for beginners is that, can I keep my bonsai indoor? And the answer is yes. Bonsai is like a house plant. You can keep it indoor next to your computer or etc. for decoration. But remember, the trees are basically outdoor plants. They need both adequate amount of light, and adequate amount of moisture to stay alive, to stay healthy anyway. And so even houseplant, most of the houseplant that are like ficus, yes, they can be kept outdoor, but they still have to be grown outdoor, or else the branches become wimpy and long, and trees does not stay healthy for a long time. So in short, bonsai are outdoor plants, but you can rotate them, several trees in bonsai, rotate them indoor, to keep them indoor several weeks at a time, even up to 4 weeks, and then take them out and let them reinvigorate again. And the next often asked question is that, how should I select my trees in accordance with my climate? And the answer, in fact, any tree can be grown in any climate, so long as you keep them moist, in the sense the root ball moist, and also give them adequate sunlight, and keep them moist even during hot weather. Just remember, trees need light and need moisture to stay alive and stay healthy. The only consideration is on the cold weather. Like most bonsai would stand cold weather so long as not the root ball totally frozen solid. For very cold weather, even like Minnesota or Rochester, New York, what you have to do is to winterize your bonsai. I'm not particularly expert in that. I haven't lived in very cold weather, but you can certainly talk to a local nurseryman about how to keep your patio trees alive by bury them into the ground, or put sawdust and mulch over to prevent it from deep frosting, or simply move it into the garage and with a little sunlight, with artificial lighting for evergreen trees. And that's all you have to do to winterize. But all bonsai heirloom can be kept outdoor anywhere in the U.S. On the other hand, if we have something offered later on that's a little bit more tender, I'll let you know. So I more or less talk about maintenance all along, keeping them moist, getting adequate light exposure. But remember the technique I've been advocating. If I want to sell bonsai, I've got to make a bonsai easy for you. I've been advocating soaking your bonsai, and we invented a pot to invert the soaking tub into the bonsai pot to make it easy for you. But I advocate strongly soaking your bonsai from time to time, or soaking constantly, but let them dry out from time to time. And your bonsai will grow very rapidly, very healthy, give you plenty clipping opportunity to change the design of your tree. In conclusion, I have covered the consideration for you to think through in selecting your first bonsai. Hey, I'm selling bonsai. Don't take me seriously, but consider buying a bonsai from Bonsai Heirloom. They really are well implemented and to design for easy maintenance and longevity to become your heirloom. And right now, July, we have a 25% sale if you order more than one. That's an opportunity that will not come up very often, but we may offer specials for occasions, but not for general sales. So please order your bonsai today and enjoy your bonsai. So thank you very much. I hope to see you next week. Well, thank you very much for watching today's video. Subscribe to our channel and tell a friend. And most importantly, go to our website and sign up to become our VIP so that we can send you announcements of special considerations. Thank you very much. See you next week.